So tonight's show brought to you by the Piper's Angels Foundation. The mission of the Piper's Angels Foundation is to support and improve the lives of families in the cystic fibrosis community. You can find out more by checking out pipersangels.org. And we have a wonderful show ahead. We've got some awesome updates, and we are looking forward to the upcoming weekend, the big event.
Yes, it's finally here.
Yeah, it's finally here. I know it's been a long time awaiting, and the anticipation is building.
Yes.
The suspense.
Yes.
How exciting!
I know.
We have it's going to be the official debut of our Epic Love tent. We have our
tent. We
Yes,
have
tent.
flags. We're really stepping up our game here, and
That's what I like to see.
and spreading the epic love all around for everyone to share.
Well, and it's in the building up to our 50th episode.
It sure is, and I was talking to you about this before the show. You weren't paying attention to me, but
excuse me. Sorry.
It was our 1 year ago today, March 20th, 2018, was the first episode of the Epic Love Radio Show.
A round of applause.
Yeah.
Clap.
Yeah, thank you, Josmar. Yeah, well, that's exciting.
Right?
Well, here we are.
Here we are.
We survived.
We did.
You made it.
We made it. Some of our other co-hosts did not.
They did not. But hey, we need you here for all these sound effects. I mean, it's not even a sound effect; it's a human effect over here. Yeah.
And then there were two.
Yeah, right. Which we have fun.
We have a lot of fun.
We have a lot of fun.
Yeah.
We sure do.
But a shout out to everybody who has helped make this year of Epic Love very special.
Yes.
Very memorable.
Mm-hmm.
Some incredible guests.
Yep.
Yeah, I've had a lot of friends on the show, so I'm glad to be here as well.
Oh yeah, you know who do you know? Jose?
A handful of people.
Okay.
You had Rebecca on the show.
Oh.
Not too long ago, Rebecca Bruce.
Oh yes.
Amelia Lujan, she's one of my best friends. I had her on the show. And I just tune in every now and then when I get a chance. We've been pretty busy working the Mind Body Expo, so it's been if I've been on Facebook and Instagram, it's because of Mind Body Expo.
All right. So Josmar is actually one of the people that is making this event possible on Saturday, and we are very excited to be part of it. So we're going to get there and talk more about that. But let's give a big thank you to our sponsors to start out with. Yeah,
absolutely. Well, we couldn't have the show or produce the Crossing for a Cure without our sponsors. So a big shout out to Certera Wellness, one of our Grand Bahama sponsors this year, Peter Marcus Coaching, Dixie Vodka, Tao of Stoke, the Health Career Institute, ABC Financial, Secor Shipping, the Secor Island Lines based out of Fort Lauderdale, Flying Fish Board Company, and Integrity Square and Halo Talks. Thank you so much for the superb support. We have really had an outstanding ramp up to the Crossing for a Cure this year. We have had just a huge, an overwhelming response in registration the last couple weeks. I think this last week we had like 29 registrations.
Wow.
And I want to double check our site to see when I left the house. So we are over 44% of our fundraising goal. So we're just over 220,000 in fundraising. And yeah, it's been a great run. So last year our total was 282.5. So we're on our way to surpassing last year's record, and we just got the registration report from our very own Kathy Aponte, and we have currently 166 registered paddlers in the event, 68 of which are competitive, 98 recreational, and that includes categories. That includes the dory, that's the rowboat category, the OC6s, the prone, stand-up paddle, two-person prone relay, four-person prone relay, and the recreational teams as well. And we have, I believe, 6 recreational nonprofit teams signed up as well.
Wow.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah, it's exciting.
Yeah.
It's exciting. So we're going to have quite an armada of boats and people going to the Bahamas on Father's Day weekend in June.
Can you handle more teams? Can we get 2 more teams?
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
just
absolutely.
Sure, Okay.
All right.
Yep.
Team's going.
We
Yep,
can.
yep.
We've got, so registration is open until May 1st. So counting down the days, under 50 days until registration closes. But thank you to everybody out there who not only has registered, but has been training and fundraising. And we're infinitely grateful for the support and what it does to help us with Piper's Angels Foundation and the programs that we're implementing on a national level. And what's really cool is some of these nonprofit teams, like I spoke with Julian Benson, his team today in Ireland, and they are not registered yet, but they're really considering it. And so the fundraising that their team fundraises, because they are a cystic fibrosis focused organization, their fundraising is going to be going back to Ireland. So the impact that they're making is not just here locally or nationally. The event is actually helping other CF organizations in those areas globally to help their patients and families.
That's really important.
So very excited about that. Yeah. It keeps it in the hometown, which is important.
Yep. Good stuff. Good stuff. And also we have, if you would like to get involved in all the awesomeness that is going on, we have a crossing committee meeting tomorrow at 5 p.m., correct?
Yep, 5 p.m. at Harborside.
Okay. And if you would like to get involved, you can get on the Crossing for a Cure or Piper's Angels Foundation Facebook page and come join us. Volunteer, do whatever you can.
Yeah, it's going to be fun because tomorrow, the reason why we are hosting the committee meeting at Harborside, which is a fantastic venue in Jupiter, Florida. Shout out to Connie for helping set us up with the conference room there. Is that after the committee meeting, we're going to roll right into one of our paddlers, Jeremy Howard, Inlet Properties, is hosting a rooftop silent disco party.
Silent disco. Silent words.
That's the key word.
That's key.
Silent disco.
Yeah. So
We'll be looking like.
Yeah, exactly. I've never been to one of these, so I'm actually really intrigued to go check it out.
And you're coming, right?
Oh, well, yeah, I'm going.
Josmar, you're invited if you want to come. Just saying.
I don't know. I do a lot of silent disco on my own. So I love to.
So you've had lots of practice.
Yeah, I have an extensive dance practice, so yeah, I would love to come by.
All right. So
silent means I just have headphones, right?
yes.
You just dance.
That's it.
Correct.
Oh my God, why do they not have a silent club? Like, I would go to that.
I believe they do.
They do.
Yeah.
They have silent clubs, yeah.
That would be awesome when you go to a club and you can tune into your own station.
Yeah.
Oh my God. All right, sorry.
Yeah, and you're all listening to the same music, right?
Yeah, so you have I think 3 different channels, and they're color coded, and then you can choose rock or country or 80s, and so because you'll look over and Josmar will be he'll be doing it this, and you're like, oh, he's definitely not listening to
Yeah.
and then you get on it, and then you hit you switch over. And you're like,
oh,
that's
you're
fun.
Why? You're like, oh, okay. But yeah, so thank you to Jeremy Howard for hosting such a special event in Jupiter and to Harborside. So it's going to be following right after our committee meeting. We'll be heading up to the rooftop party because it's from 6 to 9 or 6:30 to 9:30-ish. So we'll get our work done at the committee meeting. Yep, which are all, man, he is so good with these sound bites.
We might just keep you.
Yeah,
but
priceless.
I know, right? But tickets can be found on Eventbrite.com, or I also shared the link on the Epic Love Radio Show Facebook page if you would like to join the silent disco and help support Crossing for a Cure. Tickets are $50. You get free food, drinks, dancing, and the headsets are provided. So come party for a purpose.
Woo!
Yes.
I'm excited.
Super excited.
I don't know if I'll make it to the meeting, but I'll be there for the party.
Of course.
Conveniently.
I'll play, no work.
Conveniently, I'll be there for the party. And then also, we have to mention again, we have Josmar here with us, who is going to be at the Mind Body Expo this Saturday, and it's an Old School Square in Delray. And this is the largest wellness and sustainability event in South Florida. Come and experience a fun-filled day of yummy food, activities for kids and adults, and amazing vendors. We will be there, so come by and say hello. And this is a free event, people, so all you have to do is get on an RSVP and come by and enjoy all the food and activities and good stuff going on.
Yeah, and the weather looks like it's shaping up great, which
Good.
considering the last few days, glad all that rain and moisture got out of the way.
Mm-hmm.
It'd be a beautiful day in Delray Beach. Who doesn't like a nice stroll in its Old Time Square, right? Old School Square.
Yeah.
Yeah, Old School
Who
Square.
doesn't like a good stroll in Old Time
Square.
Well, hey, it's Delray.
It's still right.
It's hopping.
Yeah.
All right.
And we'll be out there. This is a debut of the Epic Love Radio Show.
Yep.
At a local event here.
We are the official media partner.
Yes, you are.
Woo!
Yes, you are.
I'm excited.
Bringing that Epic Love.
It's gonna be
Health
so
and
fun.
wellness, baby.
It's necessary. We need to bring love to this community, and Mind Body Expo. That's the heart of what we're doing is bringing that love through the community, through the vendors, through the exchange that's going to be happening during the event. So I'm excited about it. You know, I've hosted a lot of events, and this is the first time I've channeled this much love into one event. So
I love
it's
it.
going to be a lot of fun.
Yep,
Very
lots
nice.
of connections happening,
Mhm.
lots of health, lots of yummy food. What other way to express love?
Imagine having some of the local best holistic practitioners, having some of the best fitness instructors and coaches, people that own their own businesses, having some of the best vegan food around, and then also advocates of green and sustainable living at the same place
Mm-hmm.
at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
That's what's happening at Mind Body. So
Mm-hmm.
that's,
And this is South Florida. No one knows how to do fitness and
Yeah.
food better than people that are in bikinis 90% of the year.
exactly.
So I mean,
When I'm in my bikini,
you look great in a bikini, Travis.
it's look.
Should we have pictures of that? Because I would pay.
We'll ask his sisters. Don't worry. We'll get in on this.
Is this a new fundraising idea?
Yeah,
for
that's
the Piper?
awesome.
I love this
that would bring in
idea.
a lot of dollars, bro.
Men in
That would bring
bikinis,
a lot of
yeah.
dollars.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the main stage, Josmar and Travis.
Sporting a nice red bikini.
Mankinis
These
coming through.
Mankinis.
There we go.
I
These
like it.
mankinis brought to you by Island Companies.
Sunday mankinis.
Oh man! All right.
I know what I'm paddling in this year.
You said make it fun. I can't think of.
That's true.
a
I would
better
get
way.
fried. I cover myself from head to toe. I like wearing long sleeve. I got gloves. I got a hat, a hoo rag, sunglasses,
That's gonna be me.
sunscreen,
I need your help.
leggings.
Yeah, that's me.
Pretty much covered except for my feet, and they have sunscreen on them.
Yep, this is gonna be me. I'm gonna fry. So I'm gonna need your help with that one, Travis.
Yeah,
I need some suggestions, but
I think you're gonna need to double layer, like 1,000 SPF.
bring the Epic Love tent out there with
Yeah,
me.
you need to take the shade with. That's a great idea. Like, if somebody could figure out a way to actually provide shade
Moving shade,
while
dynamic
it's
shade.
going dynamic moving shade while it's going across, while you're out there paddling. That would be really cool.
Right?
Maybe it's like some sort of a inflatable, like a blow up helium,
Yeah.
Yeah. a helium canopy. Ooh,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah.
Where's
many-
Blair? She's under the helium canopy.
So many ideas flowing in this radio
I
show.
gotta hit up my engineer friends.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna write this down. Helium canopy.
Helium canopy.
Brought to you by. We can put a big logo on a helium canopy. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah,
So
Marketable.
the paddlers can rent them
Yeah.
by the hour.
So far, my favorite idea of this whole show is the mankinis.
I mean, between the mankini and the helium canopy, we're
I
really,
really think you
getting
guys should
something
do
here.
like a calendar for like a fundraiser. Do like a mankini calendar.
Mankini calendar.
Ladies love stuff like that.
They
The
do.
nerdiest, the better. Like my best friend just bought a kilt. I said, bro, wear that to Renegades. You'll get all the ladies.
We could legitimately do a crossing for a cure calendar though, with your top
Yes.
6 female and top male voted on. Let the public vote.
we.
Let them vote.
This has already been in discussion. I was like, we should have a what did they like? Were they like auction off bachelors? Like
Yeah.
we should have a crossing bachelor auction.
Maybe.
A day auction.
They did it.
Yeah.
I like the calendar better.
They did
You're
it
right.
on Gilmore Girls where the ladies made a basket and it was anonymous, like a picnic basket, and you had to bet on what was in the picnic basket, and then whoever was that picnic basket, you went on a picnic with them.
Ooh, okay. I like the picnic idea
That's
because
more random.
we like to call it a paddle picnic. So
Yeah.
when you're on the water and it's a casual day, you're just out for a nice paddle and you bring your snacks and your food with you and you paddle up to a little island or a
Yeah,
little
and
spot
then-
on the beach. You do a little paddle picnic.
Nobody knows who made the basket, so it's totally anonymous.
Yeah.
And then You know, I think it's a great idea.
You didn't know you were invited to a brainstorming session, did you? This
but
is
you guys
we're
are
putting you to
lucky
work.
have me. You guys are
Yeah.
lucky to have me.
We are so
I
lucky to have
legit would
you.
buy the Mankini calendar.
I think the calendar though, you
You should be the first person buying the Mankini calendar.
this would be the inaugural calendar. Some pros and cons could be listed, but I think really what they did well, they showed the really challenging side of CF, which is what happens inside the hospital. You know,
Okay.
what happens when you're stuck there in that
Mhm.
isolation and kind of in that situation. And so yeah, you got to see it.
Yeah,
Check it
I don't
out.
want to dive too deep until
Yeah.
I see it and have my own thoughts and opinion. I mean,
Right.
obviously it's not going to be anything compared to yours, but I still want to be able to discuss it.
Yeah.
So.
And Piper, we took Piper. Piper really enjoyed it. She had read the book already, so she was way ahead of the game. She was like, "Oh, well, they didn't do this. They should have done that." And so she's like, "The book was way better." I was like, "Well, what did you
The
think about
book
the
is
movie?"
always
Yeah, the book
better.
is always better.
Always better. So, okay, so stay tuned. We'll discuss that in an upcoming episode as soon as Where's Blair gets on the same page.
Yeah.
as
When Where's Blair is in the movie theater, then
yeah, seeing the movie, exactly. So, but it's really important, and I think we need to talk about it. So, moving on to our honored guest of the evening,
woo,
Gracias.
Josmar Tejeda is here with us.
Tejeda.
Tejeda!
Tejeda, yeah.
Now,
Tejeda.
okay, this is just because we have your middle name down here too.
Josmar Jose.
Oh, see
that's
what they did?
that's trickery.
It is trickery. The funniest part is that the half of the name Josmar comes from my dad's name, Jose.
Mm-hmm.
My mother's name is Maricela, so it's Josmar.
Oh,
But they just decided to go with the hard J, confuse everybody and their mom.
Throw everyone off,
Even
huh?
me. I was so confused as a kid. You could just imagine. I had Josmar Jose, my little brother's Alvin Jose, so it just didn't. The soft J didn't make it to the first name. But it's good because it's a little bit.
yeah, no,
A little bit
it's
stronger.
Yeah,
right, it's dynamic.
A little bit more balanced.
I like it.
Yeah.
I like it.
Sure.
I like it too. It's great. So as we've said, Josmar is going to be at the Mind Body Expo with us this upcoming Saturday. And Josmar, why don't you talk a little bit about what you've done with the Mind Body Expo and what you do for a living?
Yeah, of course. When it comes to the Mind Body Expo, it's been about a year or so now that Amelia took over the company. We had Sandra Trivioli was the founder. This is the 6th year, that is the 6th annual event, and I come from a background in New Jersey and New York hosting events, so doing a lot of nonprofit events, gala banquets. My parents come from hosting events and reunions, so it's been in the bloodline for a long time, and I just was working with Amelia. She was one of my clients. She's one of my best friends, and she's at a position in her life where she wanted to monetize what she was working on. And a couple of weeks after the work that we do, I'll explain a little bit later. A couple of weeks after that, somebody was like, "Hey, you want this company? Like, this is an event. You don't want to run it." So it was just kind of very interesting how things aligned. And for me, it was yeah, look, I have experience. I've done events like this. Let's make it happen. Let's take it to a whole nother level. So that's essentially what we've done, and just really glad to see Amelia step into her leadership over the last year with this event. We do have an amazing team that works with us and making it happen. We're filled with the founders still working with us. We have an event producer, people have a background in either health coaching or hosting events in the corporate sector, a videographer. So we've all come together. This kind of like Avengers of holistic healing have come together.
I like that.
Right? We've come together to create this event and bring it to a whole nother level. So it's not your regular health festival. It's a little bit different in the sense that we're bringing speakers to the table. We're bringing different holistic practitioners to the table. We're having an active fitness area, and it's the same exact time as the farmers market. So you're having the entire green space activated at the same time. And we have a lot of nonprofit partners that are going to be there, media partners. There's going to be live radio. There's going to be live online TV shows being hosted, and it's just ramping up for what we're bringing to the table, which is really just a production company. Bringing, there's not everybody gets a chance to be on the radio or create their own podcast or has the wherewithal to do that. So to be able to provide the video production, the audio production, the event and sales production, like the business production, social media advertising, that's really what we're about. And doing so and building community through the event. The event is kind of the building of the community and the cultivation and culmination of how we're serving these vendors and sponsors. So yeah, it's been a lot of fun. We have 87 vendors booked for this weekend.
Wow.
You know, it's a lot of vendors in a very, very small space. So there's going to be a lot of action, a lot of networking. If you're in the area between Fort Lauderdale and up, so we're going to have a lot of fun there as well. I'm really happy that we did our own little meditation about the weather a couple of months ago. So I'm glad that it worked out. I'm glad that it worked out for sure.
You definitely have to intentionalize.
Yes.
Yeah, it's necessary. Most people don't realize it, especially in business. And what's cool about what I've done in the past to what I do now, it's that a lot of the businesses are conscious business owners. They're heart-centered business owners. So, you know, we open up most of our events with a meditation. We do some sound healing at our events, and you know what we've been able to do at these little series of events building up to this is providing that space, you know, for people to learn, get educated about different holistic methods of healing, different tools that they can use that they're probably not aware of, and we wanted to put it out. You know, we wanted to put it out on a platform, on a stage for everybody to see. And it's something that's been happening. This is the 6th year, but we're just double a little bit of gasoline on it, you know, on the fire that we've already built. So we're just very excited, very grateful to have amazing sponsors and vendors. The community has come together. It's been a beautiful thing, and people are excited.
That's great. We're honored to be a part of it. We're really excited about it. Can't
you.
wait to network and connect with people and see people there, and
Mhm.
it's going to be awesome. So what's a little bit of your background that has led up to what you're doing now?
Well, you know, I do host high ticket events. That's what I love to do. I really love creating environments where people shift and change. So I have a background as a transformation coach, health and life coach, but I specialize specifically on habit change at the level of the subconscious. So I work with business owners, entrepreneurs, people that are leaders in their organizations, and they want to transcend the results that they're currently creating in the moment. Typically, people, you see the results that you're creating on the paper or the bottom line on the business, and you start thinking about the physical or the mechanical things that are happening in a company, but you don't really pay attention to the psycho-emotional things, the communication that happens between employees, or the dynamic between an owner, a manager, and the people that do a lot of the work. So what I found over the last couple of years is that we bring to the table who we are. And who we are is really rooted in what we have right now, but also in the experience of life, right? And for some of us, I had an amazing experience in life, so we get a lot of support and a lot of self-esteem. And for others, just haven't had that, and it affects your communication. And you bring that communication to work, and it affects how you co-create with people. So I had a background in business development. I actually started as an architect. And that makes
Wow.
Really?
Fun fact of the
What
day.
type of architecture?
We did retail and commercial. I worked at a Manhattan at a design build firm. We did a lot of construction, a lot of rehab work after Hurricane Sandy, actually. So we went to a lot of, especially at the South Street Seaport, downtown Manhattan. Imagine these places had 6 feet of water in their restaurants.
Wow.
So they lost business for like a good year. So we went into those places, and we were both the architects and the GCs. We did both the design and the build. So that level of thinking is how I've taken on everything in my life. I like to help people transform, both designing and building the life. When it comes to business, I like to help people re-envision the business, redo the plan, and then help them build it.
And you're originally from?
I'm originally from New Jersey.
And how long have you been down here in the South Florida market?
It'll be 2 years in July.
Nice.
Yeah.
Welcome. Sunny
Thank you.
South Florida. Sometimes not sunny, but
It's sometimes not sunny, but you know what? I came for a 5-day vacation, and then that 5-day vacation became a 2-week vacation, and then I had 4 interviews lined up for work. So I'm like, you know what? Let me just stay down here. Hey, Dad, you want to take over my apartment up north? He's like, yeah, I need to change the venue. I'm like, great. So things just clicked. My family's down here. My mother was down here. My sister was down here already. Most of my first cousins were down here. So it just made sense. I needed to kind of unplug from the politics of New Jersey.
yeah, that's shifting gears pretty smoothly and quickly, though. I like your style.
Yeah. It was very, very in the moment, but very intuitive at the same time. I got a lot of messages about Florida, and just said, let me just go down there. Somebody drove up, and they're like, Josmar, you want to just drive back down with us? And then if anything, you would just get a flight back. So it worked out, and it's 2019, and I'm still here. So
Have you been back since?
Yeah, I've been
Okay.
back. Yeah, no, I've passed by, saw my brother, my father, been to weddings. It's wedding season for a lot of my friends and family back home. So I've been to a lot of weddings up north as well, and I'll be back up there for some more this year. But yes, it's just been a lot of fun, and just coming down here, being in the holistic market, it's a little different. Like I guess I was working on these skill sets and these tool sets of psychological kinesiology. We'll go over that a little bit, but those are the things that I was kind of keeping in like behind the scenes, in the shadows, if you would say, because I was known in the market as business development, community development. I used to work for the city of Newark, so I actually worked for city municipalities. I used to work for doing all the political stuff and business stuff on a city level. So I can understand what it is to work in a very small company, a startup company, and also serve 3,000 businesses at once. So I guess that level of experience has allowed me to especially take on events like this, where you're working. It's one organization, but you're working with 80 something vendors, right? And those 80 something vendors serve so many people. They serve other vendors who serve other vendors, and we're all serve the general population. So for me, I'm channeling what I really love to do, what I'm passionate about, which is transformation, and doing that by showing up for these businesses and vendors and sponsors with my expertise, but also with what they're, with what they're doing and the results they're creating for people in mind, which is transformation at the end of the day. Right? So I get a chance to do everything that I want to do at the same time.
Yeah.
Isn't that awesome when you get to do that? Nothing more fulfilling.
Nothing more fulfilling, nah, for sure. And not most people don't get a chance to live it. So just get out of your own way and get it done. And that's what I tell everybody. Most of the time, you just got to get out of your own way. Yeah. And that's exactly what it was for me. That's exactly what it was. So.
But I think that's easier possibly said than done.
Of course.
In the grand scheme of things, but what does that look like to get out of your own way, and I mean, well, first of all, I have got lots of questions because I love this topic, these topics.
Yeah.
So I'm so excited you're here. But I mean, like, and we don't have enough time in the show to go for like, I would. We're going to talk more offline, but
that would be a serious,
we'll talk more on Saturday, right?
You're hitting lots of key points and words here. But in the psychological kinesiology, I don't to the average listener, what does that mean?
Well,
in layman's terms,
the word psychology is the study of emotion and mind, right? And kinesiology is the study of body mechanics. So essentially what you're doing is utilizing muscle testing, which is kinesiology. You might have seen it in a chiropractor's office or a different practitioner. Essentially, it's biofeedback. You talk to your body and you do muscle testing. When you affirm something that is true or aligned to what you believe is true subconsciously, the body affirms and it's strong. It sends a strong signals to the muscles. When it's something that's not true, your body gets weaker. Your body is a biofeedback mechanism. Your body is probably the best lie detector test walking around. Most people just don't know how to communicate with that level of their body, with that consciousness. So what I do is in a session like I had today, I asked the person what seems to be the issue. Hey, I have a fear of flying. I'm like, okay, well let's see why that is. Well, find through using kinesiology that your conscious mind, your desire to fly is there, but your subconscious mind is like, no, I'm definitely not doing that. So there's like an embedded fear about flying, and until the subconscious and conscious kind of agree that, hey, we're going to fly, this is what we want to do, your subconscious mind will trip you up, right? It'll cause the circumstances, people, and events in your life to come to reflect the fear that you're holding on to. So most people don't know what they don't know, right? So Psych-K is just it's a non-invasive modality that I use alongside with other modalities that are geared to the same thing, helping somebody understand or identify self-limiting beliefs that they might have in the moment, trapped emotions from the past, generational beliefs, something that comes from your lineage, family to family, and that's instinctual, right? Our subconscious it's so good. It's there to protect you. If you've been through some pain in the past, your subconscious will try to do everything to not have to deal with that pain again, even if that means avoiding those same people, right? Even if it means doing things that you would typically want to do, because at the end of the day, it doesn't have its own mind; it just has its memory saved in itself. So again, it's like imagine being able to come into a place and identify some maybe imbalances you have psychologically, and be able to rewire your perception in minutes. That's what we've done with Psych K. Psych K is what I use for short.
Got it. Yeah.
To say
Psych K.
psychological kinesiology all day would be extremely taxing.
Say that 5 times real fast.
Yeah, exactly. But have you guys ever done any other, or seen anybody do any modalities, anything like that?
Mm-mm.
Reiki healing. You've heard of Reiki, maybe?
Yeah.
Reiki is where they focus on different areas of your bodies and different chakras. You could utilize Psych K in that way too. There's so many facets of how you use it, but at the core, it's really creating a better relationship with your subconscious mind and your conscious mind.
Got it. Yeah.
I have a good question for you. Any
Yes.
of you guys have a random fear or something that you do?
Yeah.
What, would you be open to sharing this live on the radio?
Be vulnerable, Blair. Be vulnerable.
Yeah, I do. I would say I definitely have a fear of losing people in my life because I've experienced a lot of close family loss in my life. So I definitely have a deep fear that I'm going to lose people. Yes.
And that's natural, right?
Yeah.
Like, it's one of the most important things about life is that it sounds a little grim, but it's almost the truth. If you're alive now, you're gonna pass away, right? It's the most natural thing that happens in life, and we're scared, right? We're a lot of us are scared of this idea of death. So think about it. It's natural for it to happen, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's more specific about family members, right? Can you identify? Would you be able to identify with the saying that they're all going to pass away?
Yes.
Okay, so that's
acceptable. Yeah,
that's
I
acceptable.
understand that. Yeah.
Okay, so and would you agree that it's not up to you when they do?
Yes.
Okay.
Well,
I'm just talking about truths right now. Right?
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, I mean, I feel like for some reason I have control over it, and I have no. But I know that I have absolutely no control over it deep down.
So to try to have control over things that you have no control of seems nonsensical, right? It's a waste of energy, right? If your world is going this way to try to control something, but it's not controllable, you're just exerting force in that way. In this case, it's emotion. In this case, it's your ideas. This way, it's your focus. All right.
Mm-hmm.
All right. And these emotions have a charge. All emotions are electrically charged. So another modality that we have is emotion code or EFT tapping. That's where you hit different acupressure points in the body to relieve yourself of the stress of the emotion. So the memory doesn't get erased, but the electrical charge behind it does. And that's where our memories come from.
Mm-hmm.
When you think about something that's happened in the past, you're tuning into an emotion from that memory.
Oh, absolutely. Because I mean, when I really tune into it and I really start to fear it, I can feel I feel like I'm drowning.
Okay.
Yeah.
If that stress, let's say on a scale of 1 to 10, if that fear, where's that fear?
10.
10. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So what would you do to be able to get that down to 0?
I start to think about the things that I've been through in my life and the things that I've overcome and how strong I am and how much I care about the people around me, and it brings me back down.
It brings you back down.
Yeah.
Right? And I'm not sure about what your beliefs are when it comes to spirituality, but do you get a sense that maybe when people pass on, they're still around us?
Yes.
All right, so they might not be here physically, but they're definitely here energetically.
Mm-hmm.
Energy cannot be destroyed; it can only be transformed. Right? That's a law of nature. It's a law of physics. So if somebody existed, they always have, and they always will.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So little notions like that are what I train people on, and like, okay, so they kind of logic their way back to it's like, so whatever emotion I'm holding on to, it's nonsensical, and I'm feeling this way in the moment. It's not making me feel good. And when I feel this way, I start to eat this and this and this, or I start to do this and this and this. So now they can see how their life is molded about how they shift in the moment, how they feel. And our feelings control our lives.
Mm-hmm.
They control most of your behaviors, and your behaviors they become your habits. And your habits is what you do every day without thinking about it. So if the things you're going to change your life or change the way perspective you have about something specifically, it's all about habit change. So it's not a sexy word though. Who's like, I really want to change my habits. Not many people do. But if I would always advise if that's the goal, then you got to work at the level of beliefs and emotions, because that's the root. It's the root to all the habits that you have. It's the root to all the behaviors that we have, and it literally dictates whether your cells grow or die. It literally tells the cell how to express genes. the level of the DNA. So I love this aspect, and it gets a little heavy when I talk about it, but it's like the truth. It's when you get down to it, in every business that I've worked in, there's always something in the way of our success, and it is typically a human error or a human relationship. Somebody doesn't like somebody else. Somebody feels that this person did this. So it's like these emotions are now getting in the way of the business of success, and everybody in the room wants a success, but they're not willing to get over whatever it is that they're feeling in the moment, or like actually talk through it and be vulnerable. So I want to commend you first for being vulnerable enough to share that.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Most people aren't. So it's very important to reflect and hey, sometimes just breathe it away.
Yeah, that's what you gotta do.
You ever heard of the 4-5-7 breath?
Mm-mm.
You inhale for 4, hold it for 5, and exhale for 7.
Okay.
And when you're ever feeling stressed, just do that.
Okay.
Especially with these emotions, say, hey, even though I get sad when my family passes away, I deeply love and accept myself. If you say all these things while you're doing the breathing techniques, you see how you start to calm down in the moment.
I'm already calm.
Yeah.
I feel great just from listening to you explain that. Yeah.
And sometimes that's half the battle, is really just having the open dialogue about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's really such an important topic in the CF community, where people have a terminal diagnosis, and we say, well, in the past, right, people talk about somebody with CF, and it's like, well, they're terminal, but we're all born terminal.
Yeah.
And so it's interesting to take that perspective and to accept all eventualities of what's coming and the potential there. And for those just tuning in, I just wanted to point out that this is Josmar Tejeda, and he is obviously super ambitious. He's a bilingual author, speaker, health and executive, a psychological kinesiologist. Kinesiologist. With 9+ years of experience in organizational transformation and 10+ years in multimedia creation. And this is one of the things I wanted to ask you about next. Is he's the owner of Conscious Leverage and Sueños LLC. Now, I know Sueños in Spanish, but spelled not the way it's spelled that we have it, but maybe it's spelled Suenos.
Yeah,
Dreams.
Is dreams. Yeah.
Dreams. And the reason I know that, it's interesting, every year my family goes to Sanibel Island on the West Coast. We go on for like 40 years. We go for 1 week. Well, on the drive to Captiva, there's all these houses that are multi-million-dollar homes on the bay side and the ocean side. So when you're driving, all these really nice homes have these beautiful landscaped entrances, but they all have a really cool sign that is the name of their house.
The estate.
Yeah, and they all get really creative because it's on an island and it's kind of the vibe. But one of them is Casa de Sueños.
Beautiful.
And I had to look it up one year, because I was like, man, I really like that. And then I looked it up and it was like, oh, House of Dreams. Yeah,
That's
and I was like, oh man, that's good. So I love that. But so tell us a little bit about what Conscious Leverage is and also Sueños LLC.
Well, they're virtually the same business. It's really Conscious Leverage is more so a process, and Sueños is the parent company. So it's an organization that I started a few years back. It's really geared on developing businesses and doing that through transformational leadership. So in Conscious Leverage, the Conscious Leverage system, we love to help entrepreneurs tap into their full potential, and we do that by first. Before we do any of the work when it comes to the business, we need to know who the person we're working with is, like intimately, like both on the subconscious level and the conscious level. Because typically they have an issue that they want to face or want us to work in the business, so we need to see what's going on. So we help them transcend their own results mentally. We help them transcend their own mindset and the results that are occurring in the business. And we also transcend how they look, right? So social media, advertising, photos, lifestyle photos, like do like a whole brand reimaging. Then we help them amplify their production. So in that case, it's whether there's a team of people, we help them just get more productive and what they're doing, become more efficient as a team. We do a lot of transformational leadership exercises and workshops to increase the amount of team building activities, so that there's a deeper seated relationships with the employees of the company. And then we get into the P, which is preserving those habits over time. so that the business can have sustainable results. So a perfect example is the Mind Body Expo, right? At first, you had a person who had not had the experience herself in hosting huge events, but she had a team of people who could help her do that. She needed to transcend her own personal abilities and skills and the results. She'd never had something like this, never had the opportunity to be on the phone and doing sales in that way. So we had to help her kind of transcend who she thought she was as a professional. I think we've all seen what Amelia's been able to do over the last year, right? And then now we go to amplifying the production, right? So we went from how the event was to what the event is. 87 vendors, full day of events. It was originally from 10 to 2. It's now 9 to 4. There's a full speakers tent. There's a full day of movement schedule. So we amplify the production. We, all over social media, the videos that we've put out sizzle reels for ourselves and for our vendors as well, the sponsors as well. So we've amplified the production in that way. And now the secret sauce is going to be preserving that momentum over time, right? So I'm excited because the event, for me, it's like a graduation. We've gotten to a certain level where we help this person transcend the results. She went from not having much impact in generating sales from her blogging, her vegan blogging. Amelia is an amazing video producer and content creator. Most people don't know that because they just focus on the health part of what her message is. So now that she's been able to kind of put this event together and show that she can do it, now she can go back and focus on what she's best at. And then now preserving that over time so that the next event is just as good, if not better and bigger, with more people, bringing in more money. So that's what we do at Conscious Leverage. That's what we do at Sueños. We empower leaders by helping them reflect on what the power that they already have inside, that epic love that's already inside of them, and bringing it out to the surface and then amplifying it. And then preserving that over time. So it gives me the opportunity to play all the roles. I play the role of the holistic practitioner. I help the person with their mindset. I get to play the role of an executive coach, where hey, this is what you should do things. And then as a trainer as well, I get a chance to train the team, or at least put in systems for the team to work with to help them amplify the production. So she's a perfect example of what we do. And that's essentially why I got involved with the business. I wanted to see her to be successful, but I also knew that it would take somebody who has experience in hosting events to be able to guide her through it.
Awesome.
So you just take someone's natural talents and just show them to themselves and then amplify them.
Yeah, take it away. It's like, you find a person, a gem, you just dust it off a little bit, you kind of polish it, you might even cut it and sand it down a bit. It's already there though. Right, so it's just about tapping into it. And Sueños, I'm glad that you brought it up, and the fact that you read it as that, because that was the intention. When somebody, especially for the English-speaking population, it's very easy to read, right? As Sueños or Sueñas at the very least. And I'm from the Dominican Republic. That's where my family's from. So I wanted to give a name that can cater to both markets at the same time, and it's actually an acronym as well.
Oh, no, that's clever. What's the acronym?
Start with effectively navigating your optimal self.
Ooh, I love that. I'm going to write that down. So we got 1 minute left on the show.
Whoa.
So we're going to be landing the plane here.
Yes.
I don't know if you have any pilot skills. Maybe you can help out. But so co-pilot skills. But I have a feeling you do. But so in this last minute, you want to give a shout out and kind of take us home?
Yeah, I want to shout out all the vendors and sponsors that are making this Mind Body Expo event possible. I want to give a huge shout out to Chris and Carrie at Juice to You. They've been an amazing marquee sponsor. They've hosted so many events at their juicing, at their juice restaurant. And, just guys, March 23rd, 9 to 4. It's going to be a lot of fun. 87 vendors, vegan food, educational workshops, fitness demos. There's a farmer's market. There's fun things for the kids to do, and some of the most compelling speeches, and even in the 15-minute speech, these speeches that are going to be happening at the speakers tent hosted by SoFlo Vegans is going to be awesome. Awesome.
Nice. Well, join us. We'll be out there. Blair and I will be on hand. We're so excited.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you to everybody for tuning in to this episode. Thank you to Josmar, Tejeda, for being here, and being awesome, changing the world, transforming the world in a positive way, and bringing your epic love.
Yeah, that's what we do.
Yeah.
Good night, guys.
We'll see you next week.
That was awesome.